Just like cops want you to keep running your mouth, I want this guy to keep running his mouth. You guys recognize him. This is Dennis Benigno, the CEO of Street Cop Training. And while cops continue to drink from this polluted thin blue line well, I will keep exposing them. And actually, Dennis does a really good job of exposing himself and the law enforcement, the general law enforcement mentality of them versus us. He's going to pull back the curtain and show us their real objective. In this second video I've done on this guy, Dennis is going to teach cops how to get more flies with honey. And what he means by that is coming at the situation with a certain good, professional, nice demeanor and attitude, he can convert more victims. The law enforcement officer who just pulled you over can convert more of his victims into criminals with minimal pushback and danger to the cop as the objective. Check this out.
I'm going to give you some tips on your attitude on a motor vehicle stop. I'm going to push this up a little bit so I can see my computer as well as I give you this information. And it kind of brings up a story from a guy who's part of this group, one of my old pals from my days at WPD. You know who you are, Mr. How are you, buddy? When he first started, he was very good at interdiction, and if you just become a little bit nicer on your motor vehicle stops, just a little bit, you're probably going to get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So here's some advice to you. If you sound like a raving lunatic or like a robot, or I know from my USMC friends out there who were on the job, you have to adopt a personality. So when you come to my 2-day course, we always talk about what did my attitude look like when you were watching my videos on motor vehicle stops. Did I ever sound like I was over aggressive? Did I ever sound like I was a maniac? Did I ever sound like I was screaming at people? Did I ever seem like I was intimidating to people? I'm a little bit bigger, so maybe my personal stature and the way my uniforms were tailored and I had the short sleeves and all that stuff. Maybe that was a little intimidating to folks, but outside of that, I was very professional, very polite. And the reason that we're going to be that way to people when we stop them is because when we pose questions to confirm or dispel suspicions of criminal activity in a motor vehicle, we want to have them calm, cool, and collective and really at a baseline. So when you pose those questions of, is there anything illegal in the car? Can I search the car? You're going to find that those questions will evoke responses. So here's some advice to you. Be professional, be polite, calm the driver and passengers, and this is what I'm going to tell you. This is my introduction every single time. Hey, good evening. I'm Officer Benigno, Oberst Township Police. Needs your license, registration, proof, insurance, please. And if somebody said to me, well, what am I being stopped for? I'd say the same thing every time. Don't get into the habit of telling people what you're stopping them for without first getting their documents. Now, I know some whack-a-mamie, cockamamie bullshit administrator somewhere made up some rules for their agency that says they have to tell people on motor vehicle stops because some guy with collar brass said, this sounds like a good rule for us to make, so...
Yeah, all those BS rules that somebody made to try to protect the people against the cops who are trying to prey on them. Keep in mind, evil has many faces. It doesn't just present itself as devilish or cruel. It can also present itself in different ways, because if they always appeared as devilish and cruel and mean-spirited, well, that would be easy to detect and build a defense against. But if you present yourself as nice and unassuming and friendly, professional, maybe even courteous, well, you're going to drop some barriers, and then the cop's going to get what he wants. And that's what Dennis Benigno is trying to teach these cops. Hey, we need you out there to be more deceptive so that we can create more criminals out of all these innocent victims we keep harassing. So you need to have a better attitude. Don't come with a gruff attitude. Don't be Mr. Tough Guy. You're never going to get what you want. So this devil is actually instructing other devils how to be more devilish and deceptive and nice and friendly and professional. But remember, professional, nice, friendly tyranny is still tyranny.
For get the non-cop who became a boss. The guy who was never a cop became the boss. Comes with these bullshit rules for people to follow. But if you don't have to do that, don't get into the habit of telling people what you're stopping them for before you get their documents. So the simple answer to that is, officer, what am I being stopped for? Sir, ma'am, as soon as I get your documents, I promise you I'll explain everything to you. I just need to see those first. I'm going to tell you 99.9% of the time, people will be like, okay, no problem. Yeah, just give me the documents, and I promise you I'll explain it to you. I just need your documents first. What happens when you tell somebody that they were doing something that they think is bullshit, and you haven't received their documents first? If you haven't played that game yet, and you're a newer guy and you haven't experienced...
Wait a minute. You haven't played that game. So he admits that the officers are playing a game. And it's the officer who always tells us, hey, we're not playing this game. Well, the game that's actually being played is being played by the law enforcement officer. And they claim that you're playing a game when you stand on your constitutionally protected rights. Rights that people like this, scum like this, promised that they would protect, defend, and uphold. And now he's trying to train officers to break down those barriers. And then he makes fun of or mocks or treats with contempt anybody who would dare step across his thin blue line and exercise his rights. He calls it BS.
Because most senior guys have experienced that mistake once before. You're going to have somebody fighting with you. I'm not giving you my license. Let me see a supervisor. Blah, 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 blah. So don't get into the habit of telling people what they're being stopped for before getting their information and their documents. You want to have that in your hand. And a lot of times that would be addressed as we came out of the car. Remember, on interdiction stops, they're always coming out of the car.
So what's this Nazi saying? Make sure you get the documents first. Tell them you need to see their papers. Let's see the papers. Make sure the papers are in the hand. And then you take the next step. But you, cop, you are always in the driver's seat. So be nice, be kind, be courteous, be professional. Then you'll get what you want.
Talk about assessments in the class. And I'll go over the assessments in a video, but they're always coming out of the car, off to the side of the roadway in a safe location, and that's when I usually explain what my probable cause or reasonable suspicion in New Jersey. That's what what our standard is. But that's when I would say, hey, by the way, you're being stopped. Your front seat passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt. You have a license plate light out. I realize that one of your brake lights is out. You know? Oh, it is? Yeah, you don't have to check it, but I promise you, I assure you I'm not lying to you about it. They run back to, let me see it. Like, another car here, we'll show it to you. That's no problem. Let's get down to brass tacks.
I assure you I'm not lying, as he's actually teaching law enforcement officers right now in this episode, in podcast number 98, Your Attitude on Motor Vehicle Stops Matters. He's training them on how to don a mantle of a false attitude. Maybe you're an evil guy, but here's how you get more bees with all that honey. Here's how you create more victims from all those people you just pulled over for bogus reasons, like a tag light out or they didn't activate their turning signal. This is pure evil.
And why I really stopped you. And the fact of the matter is you suspect they're involved in criminal activity. So, politeness, here's a great introduction.
So you are already treated as a suspect by a trainer of police officers. In other words, everybody you pulled over, you're suspecting that they're guilty before they even have a chance to prove their innocence. Instead of, oh, you're innocent until we prove you guilty. So this cop with this good, friendly, professional attitude already sees you as a criminal, and you need to be aware of that. And your first step is to shut the front door. Stop talking to these police. The reason they want you to view them as nice is so that you'll continue talking and give your documentation and give the cop everything that cop wants so that he can construct a case against you.
Hi, I'm officer, whoever you are, so-and-so, whatever police department. Good evening. May I please see your license, registration, proof of insurance? What am I being stopped for? As soon as I get your documents, I'll explain everything to you, I promise you. All right, well, you have to tell me. In New Jersey, you don't have to tell people what they're being stopped for. And you want to tell them that. Sir, I don't have to tell you.
Wouldn't it be common courtesy as just a regular human being to tell somebody why you're interrupting their day? This is another example of an order follower. Let's say there is a law where it says the cop doesn't have to tell you. On a human level, wouldn't you just go, hey, I'm pulling you over because you were driving recklessly. Hey, I'm pulling you over because you ran that stop sign and almost hit that lady or whatever. But this guy is saying, no, I'm not going to tell you why I pulled you over, but I am going to tell you what to do, and you better obey my command or you're going to be punished.
There's case law on it. I don't have to tell you exactly what you're being stopped for. The ticket will say that. I mean, don't get into that threatening of a ticket.
So they don't care about your rights. They care about case law. They care about Terry v. Ohio. They care about Pennsylvania versus Mims. And they're going to rely on that because they swore to uphold not just the Constitution, but all the laws of the state, including the case law, most of which are stacked against us, which is a testimony to why some people, gosh, I don't know who, say all cops are bad, because they took an oath to do bad things to you in the name of the law.
Now, if they're refusing documents, obviously at a certain point, obstructing administration of law will come into play. I believe it's State versus Pearlstein, which was somewhere in South Jersey. It's a 1985 case. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it. But, you know, if people are refusing to give you documents, that's an arrestable offense. And I'm pretty sure that's a federal standard. And I can't imagine there's a state that says anything different in their case law. But that's some tips today, just some basic stuff for you guys to take back and begin employing. Stop sounding like this on motor vehicle stops. License, registration, insurance. If you sound like that, you're not winning. You're not going to get ahead, I promise you. There is no need to put a badge on and come to work like a fucking tough guy.
By the way, he wants a cop to win because if the cop is winning, you are losing. There's two sides to every trade. There's a winner and there's a loser. And he's given cops tips on how to change their attitude and appear more friendly so that they can win and successfully victimize the rest of us.
You can just be a nice person and you're going to achieve a lot more. You're going to have a lot more people working with you. I can't tell how many times I've been on scenes and people have said to me, "Can I talk to you? You're so nice." I've been at warrants, doing search warrants on houses, and people have pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, can I talk to you? You just seem so nice, more than everybody else. Let me tell you where the drugs are." So, guys, it's just basic common knowledge as a police officer. You guys want anything addressed? I know that I spoke to some people yesterday.
Okay, so that's it on this podcast number 98. Your attitude on a motor vehicle stop matters. We want you to have a good attitude so that you can drop barriers, so that you can win and your victim can lose. Be friendly, be approachable, pleasant, agreeable, cordial, helpful, welcoming, agreeable. In this way, you get your victims to drop their guard and their defenses, and they start to trust you. And if they're trusting you, then they're talking. And if they're talking, you can use everything they say against them. That's when you get out the dagger, spring the trap, and drop the hammer. Remember, professional, nice, friendly tyranny is still tyranny. Don't drop your guard and shut the frick up. Leave your thoughts about this. Let me know if there's something I missed in the comment section below. It really helps get the algorithmic juices flowing. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. If you want to support further, the links are in the description. But more importantly, remember, your rights don't truly end where traffic stops begin. I'll see you in the next video.